What happens when you install a CPU cooler like this onto your RTX 3080 Ti? I don't know yet. We're about to test it and find out. Stay tuned. Unfortunately, my 3080 Ti is fucked. It was extremely loud, so I installed a resistor cable because I couldn't firmware control this fan to go any quieter, and it was obnoxious. I tried a resistor cable and it quite literally blew up whenever I was testing it. Melted the connector. So I'm gonna try to jerry-rig my own custom cooler, and stay tuned. Got the old blower fan removed. Let's figure this shit out. Here I have one 3080 Ti without blower fan. What am I gonna do from here? No idea yet, but we'll see. Are you ready for a stroke of genius? Increase thermal mass with this old AMD CPU cooler. Remove the tiny loud fan because we're going for reduced noise and improved temperatures. Add on a larger fan to reduce noise, increase airflow, and add a secondary fan down here to cool the board and blow through the original heatsink fins down there. Can't go wrong. Here it goes. A lot of thermal paste between the layers and zip ties to hold it down. This is the most beautiful GPU cooler I've ever seen in my life. One finishing touch, of course, I had to replace this cool little temperature monitor that came built in with the reference cooler. Here it is, running with TimeSpy. I just started the test. It's running under 70 degrees so far. We'll wait till it hits the pure graphics test and see what happens. Okay, so we're running the graphics test and we're running into some problems here. As you can see, it's hitting 88 degrees. It's a lot quieter than the last cooler, but unfortunately, it's about to hit 90 degrees. It's still running the test. It's at 90 degrees. It's flashing alert, alert. I don't know if I should shut it down or see this test through. Okay, here's the results. You can see it peaked out at 93 degrees. And we performed a little below average. Now clearly we need to improve the design. I have an idea. The blower style fan depends on blowing air right through that heatsink in an enclosed system. So if I create a ducted system, could I actually get better temperatures? We'll see. Floor tiles. Okay, so here's my homemade ducted system with this on top. Okay, here it is. It's not a perfect seal, but it should work as a good proof of concept. Okay, so we're in the middle of the graphics test, and I can't see the actual value, but it's gone red again, so... I'm not so sure about this. We'll see. Okay, so here's the new version. I removed that top fan because I was thinking perhaps the problem isn't the fact that the air isn't flowing through enough, it's that this big fat heatsink is actually not making proper contact with the chip. So we made a few changes. That fan's now gone. I figured it might actually be blowing against this blower fan, which is true to the original fan in its orientation. Now they're not going to be acting against each other. They were both plugged into the same fan header as well. So we just plugged in the one fan, so in theory it should be running twice as fast. And I also felt that maybe this heatsink was way too heavy, so we removed that fan down below. I tightened the screws as much as I possibly could, and I added this little GPU sag remover right down here, so it's actually pushing up, pressing this big ass heatsink against the GPU die itself. So we'll see if this actually helps our temperatures. Unfortunately, we're still baking. So here you can see it running with the blower cooler. This is why I was attempting to try another solution. It's running nice and cool during the graphics test, under 60 degrees. But this thing's loud and there's no way to lower the speed of the fan. Never past 60 degrees with the blower fan. Well, moral of the story is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There's a much simpler solution that I'm probably gonna end up doing. You can actually get a cable that converts the GPU fan into an ordinary motherboard fan header. So I can just plug that blower fan into the motherboard and control it through the PC's BIOS. So I probably should have done that from the beginning, but anyways, it was a cool experiment.